It's roughly 6 a.m. in Israel. A series of fighter jets takes off, armed with long-range high-precision missiles. According to intelligence, a significant portion of Iran's leadership has gathered at a compound in Tehran, among them Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. 2 hours and 5 minutes after the jets take off, Israeli missiles strike the compound. This is how the Israeli and U.S. attacks on Iran unfolded. How the country's leader was killed, and what has happened since.
By
the time this video is published, new details might have emerged. The U.S., Israel, and Iran have a long history of tensions. Until 1979, Iran was an authoritarian monarchy ruled by Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi. When his regime was overthrown in the Iranian Revolution, Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini took control and founded the Islamic Republic. He was determined to transform Iran into a country ruled by Islamic law and abandon the Shah's pro-Western stance. The U.S. and its close ally Israel were declared sworn enemies, and opposition to Israel became a strategic and ideological goal. Ruhollah Khomeini died in 1989 and was succeeded by Ali Khomeini, a cleric who quickly rose through the ranks. Over time, Iran, Israel, and the U.S. repeatedly engaged in conflicts. Sanctions were imposed on Iran. Iran became a key financier of anti-Israeli militias in the region. In 2002, it was uncovered that Iran was enriching uranium at 2 secret locations. The enriched uranium could be used for nuclear reactors or nuclear weapons, raising fears in the U.S. and among its allies. Iran repeatedly denied pursuing nuclear weapons. The U.S. and Israel made several attempts to stop the nuclear program through cyber attacks and the assassination of key scientists. In the U.S.'s case, diplomacy was also a key strategy. In 2015, the Obama administration and the Iranian regime agreed to a nuclear deal.
This is a good day, because once again we're seeing what's possible with strong American diplomacy. Under the nuclear deal that we, our allies and partners, reached with Iran last year, Iran will not get its hands on a nuclear bomb.
However, in 2018, President Trump pulled out of the deal.
The fact is, this was a horrible, one-sided deal that should have never, ever been made.
Since then, relations have further deteriorated. In 2025, amid new negotiations, Israel and the U.S. launched a series of airstrikes on Iran using bunker-buster bombs. 3 Iranian nuclear sites were heavily damaged, and the same year Iran plunged deeper into an economic crisis. The currency collapsed, food prices soared, and people grew frustrated. By the end of 2025, mass demonstrations erupted across the country. Protesters called for the end of the Islamic Republic. Trump called for an uprising of the Iranian people, saying help was on its way. The regime responded with a brutal crackdown, shutting down the internet nationwide for days. Thousands were reportedly killed, and around 50,000 were arrested. The U.S. began building up troops in the region, with Trump repeatedly threatening Iran. A last-ditch diplomatic effort in Geneva failed. On Saturday morning in Tehran, a government compound housing offices of the Iranian presidency and the supreme leader was targeted. U.S. intelligence had allegedly tracked Khomeini's movements for months and learned of a meeting of top Iranian officials at the site. Originally planned as a nighttime strike, the attack was reportedly moved forward. Israeli missiles hit the buildings. Satellite imagery later showed heavy damage and rising black smoke. Reports claimed that Ayatollah Ali Khamenei was killed in the attack, along with several senior Iranian officials. Israeli sources stated that around 30 senior officials were killed within minutes. The operation, planned for months, was followed by further strikes. Israel targeted Iran's air defenses. The U.S. joined shortly after, focusing on targets in eastern Iran and launching cruise missiles from warships. Military and command centers in Tehran and other cities were hit. Trump announced the operation in a video message.
When we are finished, take over your government. It will be yours to take.
Netanyahu issued a similar statement. Soon after, reports emerged of civilian casualties, including an airstrike near a school. Iranian state media claimed at least 175 people were killed, though these figures were not independently confirmed. The U.S. Central Command announced an investigation. Iran launched retaliatory strikes, firing hundreds of missiles at targets across the Middle East, including Israel. The Houthis announced renewed attacks in the Red Sea. Explosions were reported in Iraq, the UAE, Bahrain, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Syria, and Lebanon. Several countries reported intercepted missiles and drone attacks. Oil prices surged amid fears of a global energy crisis. NATO placed missile defense systems on alert. Debate erupted over the legality of the U.S. involvement. Critics questioned whether the attack violated international law. Protests broke out in multiple countries. Within Iran, reactions were divided. Some celebrated the death of the supreme leader, while others mourned. A provisional government was formed, and retaliatory strikes continued. Casualty numbers remain unclear. Reports indicate deaths and injuries across Iran, Israel, and other affected countries. The situation remains volatile and may escalate further in the coming days.